Doom has been a large part of the gaming community for close to 23 years now. While a great game series in its own right, Doom has always been a subject of controversy due to its violent and gory gameplay. In 2016, Bethesda essentially decided to fuel the flames with their latest reboot, also called Doom. It maintains the essence of the original game and ramps everything else up to 11. It's still bloody, it's still epic, and still one of the best games to zone out in. There isn't a ton of story to go through with this iteration of Doom. It does have a smaller narrative to string players along, but you're more than likely not here to do anything else other than slay demons. Regardless, the story manages to provide a series of tasks to bring players from gameplay section to gameplay section. You play as Doom Guy, the rugged, armor-plated badass that was imprisoned by the demons in hell for his earlier rampages. After being freed from your tomb by Samuel Hayden and his Mars facility, you go on another murder spree to destroy the portals that connect the two dimensions. There isn't much depth to it, which was never expected, but at least with Olivia Pierce, we do have a villain that we can focus our rage on. She is pretty shallow unless you invest in finding audio logs, but once again, we're all here to kill demons. The lack of story is in no way a bad thing. Lack of story isn't even the right way to say it, because there very much is a story for those willing to take the time to search it out. For others, what the game provides center stage is enough to get invested in. Doom knows what it is, and a narrative-driven game is not one of them. Doom has done a great job at combining both futuristic research stations and demonic rituals, making for a level design that feels foreign, but aesthetically interesting. The dark and terrifying corridors of the Mars station is the perfect battleground to fend off the demonic invasion. Switching between the murky hallways of the facility and the burning landscapes of hell is a good visual change of pace, but the game never gets away from its warm colors or darker shades of gray. The rugged rocky formations and ruined temples of hell can be eerie at times, especially with a horde of ravaging demons aiming to make you a permanent resident. The tones of the game really shape its universe, and players who enjoy the heavy metal background music can easily find themselves getting lost. The two meld together naturally, making a game that overall feels energetic, aggressive, and violent. We all know why you're playing Doom. Deep down, you have a desire to murder the endless waves of demonic enemies, chainsawing and shotgunning your way through the masses until nothing else stands in your way. Doom gives players the thrill of taking on hell's best, and with an armory full of weapons to mess around with, nothing's going to survive. The game allows players to try out a variety of unique and destructive firearms that can tear demons apart. Those who are big fans of shotguns have two separate options depending on their preference of speed and power, but regardless of which one you choose, the blast released from its metal barrel will rip through enemies with ease. For those wanting something a bit faster paced, then they do have the assault rifle to litter enemies with bullets, and if for some reason that doesn't get the job done, you do have a minigun. That's right, Doom lets you carry around a minigun and a rocket launcher, both of which have ample ammo to go around. Although there is a debate to be had about whether some of the weapons feel too similar to one another, there is still enough variety to keep the game persistently interesting. It's easy to get a groove going with a specific weapon, realizing that for the last half hour, you've been using that same shotgun. But no matter what weapon you use, you'll become a big fan pretty quick. These guns aren't without their downfalls though. Yes, they are powerful tools of destruction, but at times it doesn't feel that way. Especially with some of the larger enemies, the guns do feel lackluster. They don't pack the punch that they should. It doesn't feel great blasting an enemy in the chest when he doesn't act phased whatsoever. Although I am aware the gun is doing damage, sometimes it just doesn't feel like the guns are really doing anything. But if you want to experience true power, if you want to know what ultimate destruction is, then say hello to the BMG. A weapon so powerful, so gory, almost nothing can survive its devastation. One shot from the BMG will kill any enemy as it travels down its singular path. As the green energy beams past, you can see your poor enemies explode as it makes contact. The BMG is the gun that beats out all other guns. The thing that Doom does best is the idea of forward movement in battle. There are ammo crates and health packs lying around each arena, waiting for players to loot them, However, the game has a trick up its sleeve to keep players in the zone. When dealing enough damage to an enemy, there's a glowing opportunity to pull off a finishing blow. Doomguy will stop whatever he's doing to grab a demon and rip him apart, littering the battlefield with health supplies and demon blood. It is a great way to keep players interested during combat segments. Health can deplete relatively fast, especially with how hectic things can get. So this is a great system to counteract that. We have a cinematic way to keep the kills going, and players are rewarded with more health for doing so. The same can be done with ammo as well, but with a more limited capacity. If players are low on ammo and would prefer not to use their bottomless pistol, then they are more than welcome to whip out their chainsaw and tear apart the closest victim. It's disgusting, it's bloody, and it gives an ungodly amount of ammo to keep the rampage going. Doom understands how to keep players interested. It's by keeping them invested in what they're already wanting to do, and then rewarding them for doing it. Low on health and ammo? Here's a fun and brutal way to get more, while still satisfying your craving for death. Thankfully, there's a plethora of demons to kill. The slow and lumbering soldiers that you start the game with are a fun way to introduce murder and chaos, but Doom will slowly roll out an assortment of demonic entities to take on. The best part is, they are all fairly unique from one another, varying in size, shape, and overall annoyance. It was strange that every time I faced an enemy again, my first thought was, not this guy again. But interestingly enough, that fueled my desire to put a lot of bullets in them. The impressive part of the enemy design is how different they are from one another. Imps scatter about, running every which way and hurl balls of fire at you. I would much rather deal with them instead of the overly aggressive Hell Knight, a significantly larger enemy who can get in your face in a moment's notice. Certain enemies like the Summoner or the Cacodemon like to have some space, and some like the Revenant provide a decent challenge from all distances. That's the beauty in Doom, if you can call it that. All demons are easily discernible and follow the same logic as their specific type. This allows players to read situations easily, and they can react accordingly. Since there aren't any demons that will try to pull a fast one on you, and they all follow their own rules and regulations, gamers can zone out and slaughter each one that stands in their way, without having to go through a ton of strategy or put a lot of effort into taking them out. They are challenging at times, don't get me wrong, but they fit the structure of the game so well. Everything about the enemies are easily telegraphed and never pull players out of their gaming trance. The media continually tries to tear down a gaming franchise that draws players into its strangely relaxing gameplay segments. While it may not be a top-of-the-line FPS like Call of Duty or Battlefield, Doom does first-person shooting in such a thrilling and unique way. It creates an atmosphere of death and destruction like no game has before, and somehow convinces players to sit back and enjoy the experience. It doesn't force a super intricate story onto those who aren't interested in one. It doesn't try to make any dramatic statements on society, nor does it want to bring to light any important topics. Doom knows what it is. It's fun. It's exciting. It's a good time full of guns and violence. If you don't like it, don't play it. If you watch this video and you like what you've seen even to the smallest degree, then try it out. I can guarantee you'll enjoy it. Thank you for watching, everyone. Make sure you check out Doom, and keep an eye out for when the sequel Doom Eternal is released next year. And check out the rest of our channel for more videos on your favorite franchises.